Welcome back, tuning into today's video. We're going to have a look at weather for the next 8 to 10 days for today's video. It's taking us into the bank holiday weekend. 10 days away, it's going to be the 25th of August. That's Sunday the 25th, right into the heart of the bank holiday. Looks so high pressure going to be coming back big time next week, and we're going to see some much warmer weather coming along next week. May even get hot actually again, with temperatures possibly going back into the 80s Fahrenheit later next week. Once again, we may be getting on towards the end of summer now, or at least the end of meteorological summer, but the heat is going to be staying with us through next week. May not last into bank holiday weekend, the very hottest of the year, because we may start to pick up a cooler sort of wind off the North Sea, and that, particularly for England and Wales, could peg the temperatures down a little bit actually over bank holiday weekend. But certainly later on next week looks really quite hot, and in any case the weather does look pretty much set fair actually for much of the bank holiday weekend. Now, before I get on with the video, just to talk about the advertising. There's green keyword ads on my pages. As you know, if you roll your cursor over green keywords, they'll display ads, but if you click through the word, you'll go to the advertiser's website, and by doing that, you're supporting GavsWeatherVids.com. It allows me to pay for the website, it allows me to pay for GavsWeatherVids.com, which then in turn allows me to sit here and talk to you with the videos and do the forecast via the website. So it's a means to an end, and it's quite important to you engage with the ads to support the website. I know you do, and thanks very much for doing that. So we'll start off with the facts charts showing the immediate situation. We'll talk about the immediate situation. First of all, we're bathed in a sort of a warm tropical type air just at the moment across all parts of the country from off the tropical Atlantic actually. But we're going to be clearing that away over the next few hours, because we're going to have a cold front coming south overnight and through tomorrow. That'll be clearing this sort of moist, muggy, damp air that we've got over us just at the moment. It'll also be producing on this cold front quite a bit of rain. I should just say this is the facts chart, this human interpretation of models by the forecasters at the Met Office. That cold front will be producing quite a bit of rain overnight and into tomorrow morning. So this is a high resolution NAE model from the website Weather Online, and you can find the link to Weather Online on my links page. We're going to have the cold front coming southwards to Northern Ireland and Northern England, parts of North Wales by 6 o'clock this evening. That will be producing some heavy rain there. As we go through up to midnight, we're going to find that area of heavy rain coming further south and east, so it's covering much of southwest England, Wales, Northern England, the North and West Midlands as well. By 6 o'clock in the morning, that rain will be lying across the whole of England and Wales. Some quite heavy and persistent rain being signalled there, and of course it's been a very dry summer, so if you can pick up 2 or 3 hours worth of heavy rain in the south and the southeast tonight and tomorrow morning, that will be very useful for your gardens. As we go through to midday tomorrow, we're going to find that rain then lying across the far south and southeast. It'll be turning lighter and patchier, but that's actually suggesting that the cold front does get stuck a little bit in the south and southeast, so don't be surprised if it's quite a damp morning across the far south and southeast. As I say, that cold front will then be clearing out of the way and bringing in a fresher feeling sort of air mass. Now, as we go out beyond that, we're going to find high pressure really taking over next week, as I was explaining at the start of the video. So let's have a look at the 500 millibar height anomaly charts. 500 millibars, 80,000 feet, is important area in Mount Sinai. So that's where we've got high pressure, low pressure developing. And as those areas of high pressure, low pressure get moved around by the jet stream running above, that essentially is what weather is. So we've got the ECMWF on the left, the GFS there is on the right, and the colours, the orange colours, are extrapolating to above average temperatures, and above average temperatures at 500 millibars is really high pressure, and the blue colours extrapolate to below average temperatures, that's low pressure, at 18,000 feet. And look at this is the mean anomaly for 8 to 10 days time, which takes us to around the 23rd to the 25th of August. That is into the bank holiday weekend. Sunday the 25th of August is right in the middle of the bank holiday, and look at that, the ECMWF has a big area of orange right over top of British Isles. That's above average temperatures, which is basically telling us high pressure is sitting over the country for the bank holiday weekend. And the GFS over here on the right, that's virtually identical, not totally identical. The position of the high pressure is very slightly different, but it's the same idea, but we've got a big area of orange sitting right over top of the country. Both models, GFS and ECMWF, showing high pressure dominant. later on next week and into the bank holiday weekend. And that doesn't happen very often, that you see high pressure dominating through a bank holiday weekend like that. And it's coming off the back of 2 very good bank holidays in May, so we've had 3 out of 3 really good bank holidays. If this is right for 2013, it makes you wonder what sort of price we may have to pay for these bank holidays once we get to next year, but we'll worry about that when we get to it. So if we have a look at the GFS temperature ensemble, so the upper atmosphere, the red line here is, of course, is where we should be at this time of the year. We sit, but just at the moment, we're actually quite a bit above average, or a little bit above average anyway. And as I say, we're bathed in that sort of tropical, moist sort of Atlantic air. We're going to go a bit cooler than average, actually, as we go through to the start of next week. Right at the end of the coming weekend, inside next week, going to go a bit below average. But then later on next week, look at this, all members of the ensembles go above the red line, so it's going to be turning warmer through next week. It's going to be turning hotter. Could get really quite hot indeed across some southern and southeastern parts of the country later on next week. Precipitation spikes show that got one area of precipitation. We're going to have rainfall coming down across the country tonight and tomorrow morning. I just showed you that a few minutes ago. Another one will be coming up on Saturday, associated with another area of low pressure. But then after that, very, very dry for much of next week. Hardly any rainfall going on now. I think it'll be wetter further north. This is the ensemble for London. So I think if you go further north, you will find it wetter than this. But to the south and southeast, very, very dry for much of next week. The temperature anomalies for the next week, Thursday the 15th to Thursday the 22nd of August, show that we're in the red colours. As is most of Europe, it's going to be above average. It's going to be a warm week, getting warmer actually as we go on into next week. Look how hot it is still across Spain and Portugal, and some of that hot air will be moving northwards into France and southern parts of England probably later on next week. The temperature, the rainfall anomalies for next week, the 15th to 22nd of August, showing that in the south and southeast we're going to be dry, but the rest of the country is going to have near normal rainfall. So the generic charts finally from the GFS model. First of all, got high pressure building up through the middle of next week. That high pressure, look at that, really dominating as we go through to the second half of next week, Thursday the 22nd of August, 1,025 millibars, big area of high pressure, very similar to the pattern we had in July. Of course, we're much later on into the year now, or later on into the summer, so it's going to be difficult to repeat the kind of heat that we had in July, but nevertheless, it is going to get a lot warmer. We'll get potentially hot later next week. As we go out to the 10-day period, which takes us to Sunday the 25th of August, the high pressure is really sitting there right over the top of the country, locked into that high pressure, so the weather is set there. The temperatures through next week show that for Wednesday the 21st, next Wednesday, we're going to be up into the mid to upper 20s. This is suggesting 26 or 27. You could perhaps increase that to 28. 28 is around 83 Fahrenheit, and it gets hotter on Thursday. Look at that, we're up to 28, so possibly you could lift that to 30. 30 is 86 Fahrenheit later on next week. That's really very good indeed for the 22nd of August. As we go beyond that to Friday the 23rd, where we're in the lower resolution end of the GFS model then, but it's still suggesting temperatures into the mid to upper 20s. Look how hot it is across much of central southern France as well. We're back up to the 100 Fahrenheit mark there across southern parts of France. The ECMWF shows again very similar situation through the middle of next week. High pressure is building to the south and southeast. We've got this annoying little area of low pressure out to the northwest though on Wednesday, and that could just impact things a little bit as we move through into Thursday. It's coming down here as a bit of a trough there across the country, so that does give us the potential for some showers on Thursday, a week's time. But then as we get out beyond that, the high pressure takes over, really dominant at 1,025 millibars right over the top of the country by Friday the 23rd. And then moving through to Saturday the 24th into the bank holiday weekend and on into Sunday the 25th. Just a suggestion that low pressure is trying to come in off the Atlantic, and if that happens, it would bring some thunderstorms in by bank holiday Sunday. But that's a very long way off, and I wouldn't take that too seriously. The GEM, finally, the Canadian model shows that the high pressure will be dominant through the middle of next week. it's still sitting there over the country on Thursday. There's that annoying little area of low pressure up to the north of the country. What does the GEM do with that? It actually brings it down as a very weak trough here on Friday. So Thursday, Friday, we may bring some showers in across the country. And then the GEM really maintains the high pressure then going out into the bank holiday weekend. This is the chart for Sunday, the 25th of August. Notice though that with this, the high pressure is more out to the west, so we are bringing around it this cooler northeasterly wind across England and Wales. So that would suggest, I think, that the high pressure of the high temperatures peaks really around Thursday or Friday, and then over bank holiday weekend it probably turns a bit cooler and fresher with that northeasterly wind, but that's a long way off, and the exact position of this high pressure needs to be pinned down. And overall, the trend through next week and into bank holiday weekend is for high pressure to take over. It's going to be very warm, potentially hot actually for a time next week, and summer 2013 goes on. That's it for now. I'll be doing a bit of a look ahead to September tomorrow. We'll be having a look at some of the models for September. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching.